would start off by saying that and it hit me a little bit more after the game. Quite a few of the players congratulated me, and that caught me by surprise. But it meant a lot. It meant a lot to our ball team, you know, the win this ball game and start this season out the right way. And our players have worked very hard for a long time to ensure that we'd be 1-0 with a victory at Hanson Field, which is a very special place for these players who won a football game. And it added, another point that I would add is that we were all impressed, the players and the coaches alike, and the fact that the band hanging in there with us the entire game throughout the weather that we had. The purple haze and the student body hung in there strong the entire game, as did the home stands as well. And the players and the coaches noticed that, and that meant a lot to us as well.
Did the game plan change at all with the weather? I mean, did you just...
It did not. Good question. That was the game plan. If we played in the downpour that came down earlier, we would have had to alter things. But without any rain, we went with the game plan, and overall, certainly very proud of the way our team executed with those weather conditions. I was impressed, obviously, for the offense to take 87 snaps and have perfect ball security. And of course, on the other side of the ball, fantastic for the defense to take the ball away from them, on 3 different occasions. And I didn't know that we got in 87 plays for 569 yards. Again, in those conditions, that's an impressive night.
I asked earlier about the no-huddle offense. Can you just talk a little bit about the process that went into implementing that offense and what that does for your team?
Well, the process was a lot of teaching and a lot of learning, by our players starting in spring football practice. Our players really ate it up, absorbed it, internalized it. They really enjoy it, and so they grasped onto it and said, "Yeah, let's do this. This is good." And it's like anything in life. If you enjoy it, you're going to work very hard at it. And I think that was evident tonight, from the offensive side of the ball. So it means a lot to the ball team. One thing that helps out is you see so many no huddle today as we face tonight. And then, of course, during the course of spring and fall camp, our defense, of course, now gets to see the no huddle every snap as well. And so it just improves your defense that much more. And of course, we're going to be different in some no huddles, and maybe you could argue most. I don't have my stats on all of them, but we're still going to run the football from the no huddle offense, and of course we showed that tonight, obviously.
-12 in turnovers last season, +3 tonight. Can you just talk a little bit about the importance of improving that turnover margin throughout this season and kind of what that did for you tonight?
Right. Well, of course, it can't be overemphasized enough. It can't be emphasized enough as far as the turnover ratio in a football game. You always want to be on the plus side. In our league, boy, and I was probably a lot of leagues, but in our conference, I know the coaches, we look at that stat every year, and the way the battle is every Saturday, there's a very high correlation. The winner of the turnover battle usually wins the ball game in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. So it makes a difference in the outcome of ball games.
One of the things Coach Casey was a little bit concerned with heading into this game was new staff on their sidelines. It was really tough to game plan for them. How good was it to see how well the defense played, just sort of guesswork almost?
That was very good, because it was good on both sides of the ball, especially with our defensive unit. Literally, we did not know how they'd line up. We didn't know what their line splits would be. We didn't know for sure, what personnel they would use, what mixture of tight ends, fullbacks, receivers would be on the field on any given tendencies because there, really no tape to study. So there's no doubt that makes every coach a little nervous game one facing a new coaching staff. And yes, our defense, help to hold them to, the no points is outstanding. And I think that I'm going to give Valpo plenty of credit. They had some good schemes, and we saw some of those. We saw them do some productive things and move the ball at times. They're very well coached, no question. And yet, I'm proud of our defense because obviously they didn't score. So at every point, our defense got a handle on it during that drive, during that series, shut them down, and of course didn't let them into the end zone.
I know you mentioned you're a little bit surprised players congratulating. Does it feel a little bit different this win? I mean, obviously now the official tag.
Well, again, I've been a Leatherneck for a long time, and every Leatherneck victory has always felt great, and this one does too. But we do have a special group of young men in that locker room right now, and I'm certainly very excited for them, and really anxious to work with them, over the course of the rest of the season. That's for sure.
Injury-wise, came out of this okay, you think?
No injuries. That's, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
Win a ball game and nobody get injured. That's what a coach loves to see.
Looking ahead a little bit, you're gonna have a tough matchup next, but after that, a couple winnable contests. How do you take this momentum from tonight and play it forward and make sure you get a good start to this?
Well, there's no question. That's a good point. That every ball game you play, regardless of the opponent, you're either going to have momentum after that game or not, realistically. And we gained momentum during the course of this game and finished it very strong. And that was evident with the emotion in the locker room after the game. So we gained momentum. We gained even a more positive spirit than this group already had before that game started. So it will carry over, and when we travel to Purdue, no doubt. Yes, every game you play, you either gain momentum or you take a step back. And fortunately, which isn't surprising because of the young men on this team.